My name is Bokwechukwu. I'm the only son of my father, or rather, I'm the only product of an intertribal union of an Igbo man and a Yoruba woman. According to my mother, she'd been childless for 8 years and had experienced 3 miscarriages before I was finally born. So she called my name Oluwasindara. My parents and I used to live in faraway city of Lagos. But one December, when I was just 6 years old, we traveled down east to celebrate Christmas with Grandma, and that was it. We didn't return to the city ever again. Before we embarked on that journey, there was this particular dream I usually have of a creepy old woman scaring me. Sometimes she would throw me into a stream, threatening to drown me. Other times she would be chasing me around the forest with either a long knife or a tongue of fire. Such a night, I would wake up sweating and crying. My mom would be there to comfort me. She would apply some ointment on my forehead, muttering silent prayers. It is as a result of these repeated occurrences that I started sleeping in my parents' room. One Thursday evening in October, Mommy was helping me to do my homework in the dining room when Dad walked in and told her to start making preparations. "We shall be celebrating Christmas in the East this season," he announced. I was overwhelmed with excitement. I've only heard about the village but never really visited it. During holidays, Mom usually takes me down to Badagry to stay with her elder sister who has 4 grown daughters. Although I do enjoy my times with them because there everyone pampered me, I think traveling to the village would be more fun. I have had fascinating stories about the rural areas from my friends at school who were privileged to visit their hometown every holiday season. They won't stop talking about how they swim in their village streams all day long, how they go out to watch masquerades, how they go pumpkin hunting, snail hunting, crab hunting, and a lot of other adventures. More interesting was how children would gather round the fireplace at night to listen to interesting folk tales from the elderly women. I have been hoping to have such an experience one day. So when Dad made that announcement that evening, I couldn't control myself. I lifted my hands in the air. "Yeah, I'm going to see Grandma," I exclaimed. Daddy smiled and patted my back. However, Mom didn't seem nearly as excited. In fact, she looked rather apprehensive. "Dave, I'm not going to the village with you," she said. Daddy frowned at her. "Why?" "We haven't been to the village for ages," he said. "Are you asking me why? How do you even want me to travel all the way to east in this condition?" she queried. At that time, I wasn't aware that she was pregnant. "I know, dear, but trust me, you will be safe. Nothing will go wrong. I promise," he said. "I'm still not going. I won't be traveling like this," Mom insisted. "Wura, I am traveling this December. I miss my mom. It's been 5 years, don't you understand?" Daddy said. "But I'm not stopping you. I just said I am not traveling. I'm not going. That doesn't mean you can't go and see your mother." Daddy heaved a sigh, sat down on the chair close to her, and held her hand. He then lowered his voice and began to talk to her. Though I didn't understand what he was saying because he was speaking Igbo language, I was only fluent in Yoruba language. I knew he was trying to persuade her to make her see the reason she should embark on that journey. I watched them, my heart filled with silent prayers. She should concur, because if Mommy won't be traveling to the village, I won't be traveling either. I'm sure of that. It was during the weekend when Mom and I were visiting her sister in Badagry that I discovered her major reason for not wanting to travel with us. Her sister and her friends were gisting in the living room by the time we came. When Mom announced about the intending journey to the east, her sister's reaction was intense. She seemed really upset. "What's wrong with your husband?" she raged, and in order to carry her friends along, she began to recount the event that transpired long before I was born. Since no one asked me to excuse them, I sat there in their midst, listening attentively and watching their lips move. I learned that my grandma never liked my mom. She had wanted to be the one to choose a wife for her son, her only son. But my daddy did not only reject Mama's choice, but went ahead to bring home a woman from a different ethnic background. Mama, this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Her name is Wurola. Daddy had said the first day he brought mom home. Ekaso, mommy. My mommy had greeted, prostrating before grandma. Grandma's eyes turned red with rage. Over my dead body would my only son marry Onyofe Manu? Grandma had responded. She couldn't even hide her feelings. But despite his mom's disapproval, my daddy went ahead to marry my mom. Nobody in my father's house agreed to see reason with her. This made her hatred of mom very strongly. So strong that she was absent during her introduction and traditional marriage ceremony. A few weeks before their wedding, dad and mom traveled to the village to make peace with her. They knelt before her and apologized for getting married without her blessing. She accepted their apology and promised to attend their wedding, but with a strict condition. Your wife will stay back here with me for some time after the wedding, she had told my dad. It won't be possible, dad said. They returned to the city 2 days later and did their wedding without her. But barely 2 weeks later, they found themselves back in the village. That business had collapsed. Nwaanyị ofe mmanụ bụ bad luck bịa n'ụlọ a. This Yoruba woman came with bad luck, grandma would taunt dad. But dad didn't take her words to heart. Even when mom started having a series of miscarriages and grandma wouldn't stop bothering him to take a new wife, he refused to give up on mom. You are my only son, Onyedikachi. The ofe mmanụ woman you married is barren. Why don't you marry Akwabata and start giving me children? I am not getting any younger. Grandma would always tell him it wouldn't end there. She would go ahead to bring the Akwabata home to do chores for her. The lady would be parading the compound in a skimpy skirt or gown. Grandma finds pleasure in making mom shed tears. She neither eats her food nor allows her to touch her belongings. Once she returned from the farm and noticed that mom was cooking soup with her pot, she got really angry, stormed into the kitchen, set the pot down from the fire and chewed the soup on the ground. Ah, mommy exclaimed. Mommy, mitagon the ekwensu, grandma called. With that, she went inside and came out again with a hammer and nails, with which she pierced the pot in several places before flinging it into the bush. Morning and night, mom would cry, but my dad would always be there to comfort her. It was after 6 wasted years that Uncle Tunde, my mom's elder brother who resided abroad, remembered his sister. It was him who sponsored them financially. They left the village back to Lagos and started afresh. With time, things began to normalize, and that was when I came into the picture. Mom's pregnancy journey wasn't easy. She was hospitalized thrice due to threatened miscarriages. However, with divine intervention, I was brought into this world a year after their return to the city. Though I feel sorry for her, hearing all these stories about mom's misery didn't deter me from wanting to visit the village. In fact, my excitement only grew stronger. I was still eager to experience village life and make new memories. I couldn't wait to share my own village experience with my friends. Thankfully, at last, mom agreed to the journey. Then came the D-Day. It was on December 20th, very early in the morning. We set out for the east in that car. Myself and my parents with one woman and her infant son. The journey was tiring. I didn't imagine it was going to be so. I slept and woke up occasionally and still find ourselves in the road. At one point, I began to cry. The masquerade in the village will bite you if they see tears in your eyes, mom had said to me in order to scare me. I stopped crying instantly and wiped my tears. As the evening drew in, we continued driving until the woman and her son dropped off at a junction. We then turned onto an untarred road, which seemed to stretch on forever. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we drove into a wide compound and halted in front of a thatched roof bungalow. An old woman was sitting by the side of the wall, picking something from a calabash on the ground in front of her. Here we are, dad announced. Village? I asked, excitement building inside of me. Yeah, grandma is over there, daddy said, pointing towards the old woman. By now, the woman had looked up from the calabash and was staring at our car. "Grandma!" I screamed out of excitement, and without waiting, I threw open the car door and leaped out. "Grandma! Grandma!" I chanted as I ran towards her. But as I drew closer enough to behold her face, my feet seemed to freeze of their own accord. A chill rippled through my body, raising goosebumps on my skin. Grandma was the same woman who had haunted my dreams. Please subscribe to get notification when we drop new stories. Thanks for watching.